I know that some of the neuroprotective qualities of CBD have been getting a lot of attention lately. And so do you have any good stories of neurological patients in some capacity that have used CBD?
I have, I have one that's actually kind of funny. It was just a patient of mine who's 65, 70 years old, and she came in just a few weeks ago when we were talking about CBD, cannabinoids, and Alzheimer's disease. And all of a sudden she remembered, I had forgotten also, and I'm looking through her chart, that one of the main reasons she came in 4 years before was for failing memory, and she had been diagnosed by her neurologist as having Alzheimer's disease, but she forgot that she didn't have it anymore, which I thought was kind of humorous in and of itself. And then we have now not a lot of patients, but about 6 patients where they came in with diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease by their neurologist. And now, following the last 4 or 5 years, they've normalized. The patients that we treat with Alzheimer's that have advanced disease, I think it's better for the patient's family to take it and probably more effective. And maybe it'll help a little bit of their anxiety because the Alzheimer's patients get very anxious. But early on, I'm getting very excited about what we're just beginning to see.
Yeah.
I guess Parkinson's might fall under this category. Yeah. I've got a patient that came to me a couple of weeks ago, about 60 years old, and we were sitting there talking. I was doing a consult with him, and his hands were uncontrollably moving around. And he looks at me and he goes, "I need some medicine really bad, like right now." And I had a bottle of alcohol tincture, and I took out a thing, and because he couldn't do it, he couldn't manipulate himself. I squirted it into his mouth, and about a quarter of it went in. The rest kind of dribbled down his thing. I thought, oh, he's not going to hardly get anything out of that. That was about 4 milligrams of pure CBD. It was a 20-to-1 ratio. Within 30 seconds, his hands just went down, and it's like he didn't have any disease at all. And I said, it blew my mind. I see this stuff all the time. I said, "Do you see that? Do you see how quickly that worked?" And he looks down at his hands and he goes, "Well, I see it, but I got to tell you, inside my mind, it's still bouncing all around." So it physically worked on him, but it didn't do 100% of the job. I think we see about a 50% effectiveness on Parkinson's. It's not like everybody it's going to work on, but works on quite a few.
And no matter what dose? Like, it was 50%,
low
it just
doses.
won't work.
It's pretty low doses on this. Yeah.
So what we've seen with higher CBD, it does help a lot with Parkinson's, but more for keeping the progression in check. So not necessarily reversing a lot, or can take down some of the tremors. We are seeing a little bit better results with the acidic cannabinoids with those type of tremors. We have a lot of stories around those. Microdosing again, and I talk about microdosing 2.5 to maybe 5 milligram dosing about 2 to 3 times a day seems to work for a lot of patients. With Alzheimer's dementia, we're also seeing fantastic, really exciting things with those patients. We're treating a lot of them with microdosing of 1-to-1, CBD to THC. And a lot of these are in assisted living communities, so they require capsules. So we put the tinctures inside the capsules with very low dosing. But we're seeing miraculous results with these patients, especially the ones that tend to be very anxious and destructive. Those patients seem to be doing better with the 1-to-1. The other Alzheimer's dementia patients do very well with the acidics, such as CBDA or THCA. We've even had stories where they've gotten out of assisted living after being on these medications.